Hiya. So for this video, I thought we'd do it a little bit differently. I'm not going to show you a finished sample. I'm just going to make it as we go along. So it's 15 by 30 cardstock again, and you'll need 2 sheets of the black and 2 sheets of the super smooth white. So without further ado, let's get on. Here we go then. It's all very exciting not knowing what you're going to make, isn't it? So we've got 15 by 30 card blank. We're on the centimetre side of our board, and we're going to score at 10, 16, 20 and 24. So 10, 16, 20 and 24. We're going to rotate that round, and between these lines here, we're going to score at 4. So just guide down, get in the channel, so 4 and stop on the 3rd score line. Then you're going to go across to 5.5, stop on that 3rd score line, and then you're going to move across to 9.5, and the last one is 11. Okay, I haven't got a clue if you can see that on there. There you go, just to give you an idea. So from there, you can either fold this line and cut with scissors up this line, this line, this line, and this line, or you could use your trimmer. So if we put the left edge on 4 and the tool on 6, and we're going to cut it down to 14. Just check that's right. Yeah, move that along to 5.5, and we're going to go 14 up to 6, and then we'll move that along to 9.5, 6 to 14, and the last one is 11. 14 up to 6. There we go. And that gives us some slits there. A little bit of feathering. Need a new blade. Okay, so to fold this, we're going to put a mounting fold here, then a valley, which is under here. This one's a mountain, and then this one goes to a valley. That gives us this kind of look here. Now these little bits here, we're just going to pop back, and they give you like 6 little squares. Okay. I have got a little bit of furring on there. Right, so from there, from your black 15 by 30, you want to cut with the long edge at the top, and I have already done one, so I'm not going to do another one. You're going to cut it off at 20. And then when you've cut it at 20, you're going to score it at 10 centimetres down there. That's going to give us a little A6 card blank. And what that is for is to attach behind, so that we get that kind of look there. Okay, so now we're ready to cut the mat and layers for all of the pieces. So from black, you will need 9.5 by 14.5. You'll need 2 pieces that are 5.5 by 14.5. That's your black. And then in white, you will need 9 by 14, 2 pieces 5 by 14, and then I want to cut a little square for these. I'm not going to put the black on there, but I'm just going to cut a square because it would get too small. So I'm actually going to cut a piece 7 by 10.5, I'm going to ink that up as a little picture, and then afterwards we'll chop it up into the 6 squares to pop onto here. So let's take off the bits that we're going to be inking and playing with. Move this to one side, and I have chosen today to use an assortment of Lavinia stamps. So we've got Blueprint Sketch, Seedless Preserves and Shaded Lilac. And I'm going to pop a little moon in the middle. So I'm going to use one of my circle masks, and I'm just going to place it down, and I'm going to start and ink around with my colours. You can always come back in over these, but this is just to show you how I build up my backgrounds. And then we'll just turn that round a bit. It fits in. Just trying to make sure we get all of them on there. You can go as light or as dark as you want to. Got a little bit missing there. Okay, so that's some colour down to start us off with. Now I do always use a black, and I haven't got that ready, so let's get that one out. Get me pad. Okay, in fact that's a bit rubbish, let's get a new one. We'll have to use this brown one. Okay, so going from there we need to have a little bit of a spritz of water. Trying to get bubbles to give it more interest. And then take that off. So, for this centerpiece, I'm just going to use the outer edge. And that's going to be a bit brown because of the pad, so I've got to be careful. I'm going to come in with a lighter colour at the top, and I'm not pressing very hard at all here. Just bring it down, and then we'll have the darker at the bottom. Have a little look, see what you're getting. Yeah, quite like that. So now, just got to make sure you don't get it too dark. Just add in a little bit of black. So there's my moon, and let's lift it up for you. Okay. So for my stamp to go on there, I have chosen, and forgive me because I don't know the name, this one. We'll just say this one. And we're going to pop it around about there. So I'll bring my stamping platform in. And pin that down. About happy with that? There we go. And I'm going to use black VersaFine. Lots of little taps to get this covered. You need to be quite gentle. And then we're going to stamp that. I've got that in upside down. Oh no, that's fine because my stamp is. And press down. And that gives us our beautiful fairy. So if I turn that around the right way for you. Okay. So from there, we need to add something around the background. What else have I got? I've got some, yeah, we'll have some of this. This is just a little bit of script. And I'm just adding, I'm not even going to put it on a block. I just want a little bit in the background, which you might not even see at the end, but we know that we've put that layer in. So that's that one. Okay. And then we want some foliage, and this little word dream, which I think is really quite nice. Let's try this. Stamp that one down. There we go. Pop dream on there. And what foliage have I got? It's like an ivy with a swirl. I think we will go for some colour around here. So that's cheating, Hazel. Just pop some of that on. There we go. And then a twiggy one, which I might do some of the blueprint sketch. This is a make it up as you go along one, which I do find the most fun because you just never know what you're going to get. So I'm just putting some of that glue down, quite like that. And then we'll have just a touch of black in there. We don't want too much because I don't want to overpower it. Just a little bit. Maybe like so. Of course, those ones wouldn't have shown, would they? If this lines up, it'll be a miracle. Should have used my stamping platform, but we'll just go in. There we go. So I'm happy with that. And then all that remains for this little panel is our edges. And I always like to come around the outside in the black. Just to draw your eyes in. It's a lovely day, isn't it? The sun's beaming through the window. All the kids are in the garden, not mine. But that's what you can probably hear in the background. There we go. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go straight ahead and I'm going to mat and layer. Look at that off my stamping platform. Pop my glue down. If you don't like using PVA, you could be using your collal or your tape for this. Try not to put too much on when you do the PVA because it will wrinkle your card. And then we'll just mat and layer. Slide that into position. There we go. So that's one piece of our mystery card done. Pop that to one side. Now we've got our two panels. So the same sort of thing. We're just going to randomly add some ink. Doesn't matter if I'm going to speedily do them together. And there we go. Clean that off. So for on here, we better use the platform. I don't want the same thing to happen to me again. I'm going to bring my platform up. And I've chose this thistly one. I'll call it a thistly one. I really apologise, I don't know the name. It's because they're not in their packets, they're all just loose. So I'm going to stamp that one down. Now, do I want that in black or a colour? Decisions. Let's try it in a colour first, and if we don't like it, we can go over it in black. That's the best way. So I'm going Blueprint Sketch, because that's the darker colour and that would show up more. See, that looks quite nice, but what you can do, bring in and think, it's gonna need some black as well, so I might do another one, but maybe, see, this is where I need my block. Let's just find the block. I'm not gonna be able to find it, am I? Okay, let's use this one. So this time I'm just going to ink up with some VersaFine. I'm just going to keep it in the platform, and I'm going to come over. So the sponge from the platform will help that stamp out, hopefully first time. There we go. So now I've got a bit of black and a bit of blue, which I think I quite like. So that's one side. And what else have I got? A little ratty, God, I must get the proper names to these. I don't know if it's a rat or a mouse, but I quite like him, so we'll have him. I just hope he fits now, because I've put that extra black bit on. Just sit him down there. Oh, he's so cute. Okay, that's one bit. And then we'll do the same sort of thing for the second piece. Now, I'll just try and wipe that black off. I don't usually use kitchen towel on the stamps, but when needs must, eh? Let's see if we can do this the opposite side. So we'll bring the piece along. Place it in. Now this might leave a little bit of black residue on there, but I'm not too fussed, and it didn't, so I could shut up. So adding down my Blueprint Sketch. Stamp that down, and then we'll pop it on the block. Now before I stamp the black, I am going to put this other little creature, because he's a little bit wider than the other one. Interesting. Well, he's facing that way, so I'm going to have to go there. He's still cute. Right then, bit of black on here. Just put that on. You do have to ink these up gently. Maybe there. Okay. So there's my two side panels. I will need to just go round them in the black soot. Always a good colour to have, the soot. If you've freshly stamped your VersaFine, just be careful going round there. There's one. Makes a big difference. There we go. So there's our two side panels. We'll do the same thing. We'll stick them straight on so we're nice and organised. A little bit of glue this time. One. And two. So at this point, I'm just going to bring in my first piece, just so I can see how it's looking together. Yeah, quite happy with that. That all kind of runs along. So the last bit that I need to do is my little squares. So we'll do the same routine. We'll just randomly ink Haven't got a clue what I'm going to put on these yet. I bet you're all shouting things out at the screen. Could it be thistles? Okay. Spritz of water. Take that off. Mop up the spots, because if you don't and you try and blend and you've got a wet mat, it won't give you a very nice effect. So I'm thinking, I want something a little bit. Let's put some of this print on as well. I know it looks bad that I'm not using a block, but we all do it. There's times when you need to do it like this. So I'm just putting that down first, so we've got something in the background. Then I think, did we put twigs on that first one? We did, didn't we? Let's pop some twigs down. First, second, maybe even a bit of third generation off there. So I'm just being totally random. There we go. I think it's going to have to be the old thistles. A couple of thistles up there. And I think because of the depth of that, I can get away with it on here. So I will do a blue one. In the background there. Shall I? Yeah, that's nice. And then we'll go for black. So bear in mind that this is going to be chopped up. I want to try and cover. It's very hard to get it at this angle, but we'll go for it. There we go. I think I'm going to go second generation as well. Maybe a bit of third. Yes, liking it. So, chop that up. So our squares need to be 3.5 centimetres square. So if we pop that on 3.5, cut that first. Trim, that is terrible. And then be mindful, it's going to be like a jigsaw puzzle. So I like to lay mine out as they come off so I don't have to spend time trying to remember where they go. So 3.5 and last one. There's those. We'll have a touch of black. And the only reason I'm going to do that, I'm just going to kind of edge this way, just because it takes the raw edge of the card away. There we go. Right, I'm just going to clear this area up. So we'll start off with our panel. I don't want these to curl, but the sun is beaming through. Let's go for our red collar, because that will be better. And then we're going to attach this one on. Taking place now. So have a look at your little micey. I'm going to have this one on this side, I think. Pop that one in place. And the last one. I mean, this type of card would look beautiful decorated in anything. Any stamps that you've got would look gorgeous. Right, now let's just check I've got my bits right, because I feel like I haven't. Yes, got them right now. So I'm just going to stick my 6 little squares on. And this is where it'll all come together. Got that little white border on this one. That's quite effective. That's that one. And then all we need to do now is just attach the card, the black card behind. Okay, so that's looking really quite nice. These bits are going to pop through that way, and that's going to fold like so. So we need to attach the black card behind here. What we need to do is we need to glue this area, the tabs, and this area. And for that, I think I am going to stick with the red collar. Just gives us a little bit more time to manoeuvre it in place if we need to. There we go. Grab our card. Line that one up. Yes, I'm glad I used the red collar because it is giving us a little bit extra. Right, there we go. That's our card. I hope you have fun with this one, and don't forget to post your makes in the comments. I absolutely love seeing what you've made. It's brilliant. So enjoy, and we'll speak again soon. Thanks, bye.